Welcome to Raw Talk. 2 links down below in the description box, even though one of them is going to be completely and utterly useless. Because as you can see here, we have the Drew McIntyre picture, we have the Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn match picture from the last match of the evening, and then boom, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Bianca on top of Nia Jax from last week. Anyhow, that's one link, just for the sake of conversation, and then the full video recap, which I think works. I don't watch them because I'm making my own version of it. So that's what's happening right there. Let's get right into this. Thank God I got my little cheat sheet notes. Kind of like what The Rock did, remember, on the inside of his wrists, except this is different. I can also speak from the heart. Well, so can he. I'm just trying to be funny here. So CM Punk comes in backstage, was very, very happy to see Jey Uso. Was happy to see Sami Zayn. They shake hands, all that funky stuff. As CM Punk makes his way out to the ring. In-ring promo, talks about his future, wanting to be the champ. He says there's different paths to get there. It could be Elimination Chamber. It could be the Royal Rumble. Either which way. Seth Rollins comes out. And Rollins has a bone to pick, as the expression goes. I don't know why anybody would want to go bone picking, but anyhow. I'd rather the meat on the bones. That's another story for another day. Gets into CM Punk's face. And then, you know what happens? Punk is like, listen, you're in my rearview mirror. You used to have something I wanted. You used to have a World Heavyweight Championship belt. Now you don't. I want nothing from you. I'm moving on. I'm looking to the future. So that was a jab at Rollins. Rollins wasn't having any of it. Smacks Punk. What I really like about this, and I've said it a million times, and I sound like a broken record, but I want to say it again so I can make my video 5 seconds longer than it should be. I'm just kidding. Is I love when two heels or two faces are going at it and they're treating one another as if they're on the other side of the fence. Which is really cool because, again, just because you're on one side and the other people on the other side doesn't mean you're all going to get along, but that's how wrestling was when I grew up. You never would have seen, as far as I remember, it was super rare at least, to see heels going at it or a face going at it. But yeah, anyhow. So he gets into his face, starts attacking him. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, they come out. A little bit of a brawl, a little bit of a back and forth, trying to pull everybody aside and away from one another. Well, trying to pull Punk and Rollins apart, right? And then as they all walk away, Sami Zayn stays in the ring, and that is where Seth Rollins gets into his face and is like, man, why are you doing this? You're not even family. You're defending a monster and Roman Reigns, this, that, and the other thing. And that's when Sami Zayn is like, yeah, it's funny. You created that monster 10 years ago when you took a chair and you backstabbed him. But then Rollins fires back and says, look, I'm not a saint. I've atoned for my past transgressions. Sami Zayn isn't in the clear either. So there was that, and then it ended up, you know, Sami Zayn wanting to challenge Seth to a match, which is that picture that you see that happened at the end of the night. We'll get into that in just a moment. So that was a really, really cool segment again. I'm tired of, you know, it would only be like a Drew McIntyre versus Seth. No, you can have good boy Punk versus good boy Seth Rollins. Like, it just makes it more realistic. I don't know. I really like that, and I do find it's more pronounced in this era of wrestling than it was, like I said, growing up in the 80s watching wrestling. Unless I just didn't notice it as much then. Who knows? Oh yeah, scrolling down. What am I scrolling down to? Yeah, we could leave it there. We could leave that there. Survivor Series. There ends up being a recap that shows Priest attacking Finn Balor backstage for what he did to him earlier, right? But then the Judgment Day smacked up Damian Priest's arm. And then it goes to the backstage segment on Raw. I'm telling you, something is cooking, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how the whole thing unfolds, almost as much as when Rhea and Priest left the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, again, getting on Liv and Dom's case. Well, you couldn't get the job done. Should have listened to me. When you listen to Finn, you win. Like, it was just like, oh, snap, you're really going there. Like, you're really making it about you again. Your ego swelling up. And I love it. Finn Balor, man. I'm telling you. I love that guy like you have no idea. Liv saying, I thought we agreed you'd stay clear from Priest, by the way, because you just kind of went rogue and did your own thing. And then Finn lives. Finn leaving Liv to ask Dom to keep an eye on him. Because apparently he does that a lot, where he just kind of leaves, he goes somewhere, and people aren't too sure where he's going. Maybe this is where, like, throughout the week on X or something like that, we're going to end up seeing some footage of him co-conspiring with some... I don't know. But there's definitely something going on. Carlito and JD seem to have absolutely no issues whatsoever with Finn Balor. They legitimately look on board with his message. Dom and Liv and Raquel are kind of like almost the other little mini group, if that makes any sense, within the Judgment Day. And yeah, I just don't know. And that's the beauty of wrestling. It's kind of like a soap opera for men and women. I'm just saying. Like, I just don't know. Is Dom going to turn face? Is he going to leave the Judgment Day? Is he going to take Liv with him or not? Is it Finn Balor that's just going to say, forget it? I had my demons. I don't know what I was thinking, Damien. Then they're back together. I don't know. It could go so many different ways. It's unbelievable. But the one way it's definitely not going is well for the likes of Finn and Dom together. I'll tell you that. So yeah. Damage Control versus Liv and Raquel. This was actually a strong performance by Liv and Raquel as they win. Yeah. Rhea Ripley then comes out because they were attacking post-match. Rhea Ripley gets tossed eye first into the table again. No mask because she stopped wearing that mask that looks like the one Cody Rhodes used to wear. I thought that was dumb. I know she's not really injured, the orbital fracture and all this stuff. I'm just saying from a scripting perspective, I would still have it on, but whatever. Backstage, again, I'm not going to say it, but I'm just going to say it. Heel. Heel to the power of two. Backstage, Finn Balor gets on Gunther, saying, I deserve a shot at the title. 2 times I've helped you retain that championship when you are facing Damian Priest. Dominic Mysterio, again, right next to Finn Balor. Gunther says, I never asked for your help. I never wanted your help. I wanted to do this on my own because, again, as a heel, absolutely has one of the highest integrity we've ever seen in a heel. The complete polar opposite would have been, again, I keep going back to this, about 10 to 12 years ago, Seth Rollins with J&J Security when he was a heel. He was the coward heel. Any little trick that he could get, he would do it, right? So this was insane. Because then Gunther says, why are you smiling to Dom? He goes, oh yeah, that's right. Unlike Finn, you were actually able to secure a victory over Damian Priest. And he offers a world championship title match and says, I'm going to go talk to Again, same thing with that. With Gunther saying, let me go talk and offer you a championship without anybody even mentioning it or bringing it up. Braun Breaker's done the same thing and others, and it's just really cool because, again, it's usually like the heel is like, you don't deserve this. Something like Chris Jericho would say, right? You don't deserve to be in the same ring as me. I don't think so. Meanwhile, Braun and Gunther, they're just handing him out like it's Halloween candy. And I just so appreciate that because you could still be heel, but at the same time, I feel like it develops character. It develops believability in that character. That, wow, they really are a badass. They don't just need to cheat. So I really, really like that. And then they kind of looked at each other, right? Dom and Finn. And oh boy, I'm telling you, it's just something wild's going to happen. But whatever happens, I hope somehow in the future we see Finn with the title. Because to talk about Finn again, don't forget, and because of Seth Rollins, well, it's not like it was his fault, but Finn ended up getting a torn rotator cuff. He fucked up his shoulder. He was the first ever Universal Champ. Never recovered after that. We don't know how long he would have been champion for. We don't know how long that would have been. Right? And he was never thrown back into the picture. Same thing with Kevin Owens. Women's Intercontinental Tournament to determine over the next several weeks who is going to be the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. We had Dakota Kai, and I was going, ugh, and I'll explain in a moment. Then we had Shayna Baszler. She's really good. Then we had Katana Chance, and I'm like, this is going to sound rude, but I'm going to say it. She is awesome as a tag team. But yes, it sounds rude. She's got the Zelina Vega syndrome, which I call it the, like, there's like, don't judge by size, but at the same, like, it's not everything. But when you've got someone like Bianca Belair, someone like, looking at my own arms and Bianca Belair's arms, I'm like, they're probably the same size. I don't know. Doesn't matter either way. Then you look at Nia Jax, and you could think what you want of Nia Jax, and I've said the same thing in the past. Before, she was absolute trash. Now, she's like really, really good. Like really good. Like she, in my opinion, in the women's division, probably made one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen. Remember, she used to be injury prone, like to other competitors, wasn't really safe to work with, at least from what I had heard and stuff. It was the same thing with Brie Bella. Nikki was on a different level, though, even though they're twins. Again, that doesn't mean anything. When I look at these two women, funny enough, the one that I left a picture of, to me, they're believable champions. Like, to me, believable. And Katana Chance, I'm thinking there's no chance in hell I could see her defending against somebody like Bianca or Nia and come on top. But I didn't have that feeling with Rey Mysterio, even though, you know what I mean? Like the whole smaller type person. Anyhow, I'm just sharing with you where my mind was going when I first saw this. My number one pick right away was Shayna Baszler. Number two would have been Dakota Kai, even though I didn't think great of Dakota Kai for the longest time. And I don't know why that is. I think it's because I just never really seen anything from her. Then she had a couple of injuries. Then she wasn't around for a long time. Then she was, but she was kind of like mixed up in either tag team matches and stuff like that. This was a triple threat. And I was blown away. Like, I mean, I had to like replay it. I was like, wait, is this real? I had to pinch myself. And it sounds rude, whatever. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I did not expect that from her. I was like, oh, she can do all that. Huh. And like within no time, I was like, okay, so I'm actually kind of favoring Dakota here. Like, I was just really taken aback by her performance. It was really good. Whereas for me, Shayna, I just always thought she was a good bruiserweight. You know what I mean? I just felt like she was always just good. The submission magician, like really, really good. Then connecting with the audience. Well, I mean, that's hard to talk about sometimes, especially with heels connecting with the audience. It could still be a bit of a weird thing. But anyhow, Dakota Kai won. It was an odd finisher, but whatever. I'm actually really happy. Now I'm actually rooting that she could potentially become, out of all the women that are in this intercontinental tournament. I was going to say continental tournament. Intercontinental. She's actually one of my favorites to win the whole goddamn thing. It just kind of comes to show you sometimes, right? You'll think you know someone, what they can do from a performance perspective, and then you see them in action, you're like, wasn't expecting that. I'll be honest, the first time I saw Matt Riddle, I thought he was going to be the biggest joke ever. I was like, there's a YOLO surfer bro, dude. There's a yo is good. And I was just like, oh my God, this is usually the kind of people I hate with a passion that burns brighter than 1,000 suns. But he grew on me really quick. Watched him in action, and I was just like, huh. Then I find out he's into the martial arts. And in real life in Florida, he teaches martial arts with Karrion Kross. All these things, and I just was like, whoa. Then the whole RK Bro thing, right? I'm going a little off script here, but I'm allowed to do that. It's not like I'm getting millions of views here and people anticipating my results and not even knowing what the results were to begin with. Most of the people that watch me, which there's not a lot of them, and that's okay, have already seen the match. Like the matches, right? They've already seen the show is what I mean. They know what's up. I'm just kind of throwing in my own thoughts on a week-to-week basis as to what's going on here. So yeah, so I'm just being honest. Wasn't thinking too highly of Dakota. Now I was just like, oh, right on. This was hard to... Now, people could say, oh, he's being a mark. No. Well, do we want to watch that? We don't want to watch this. Bunch of sweaty. We don't want to watch. Actually, you know what? Oh, that's decent. Actually, let's do this. Because it actually had to do with the New Day. 10 years of the New Day. I don't even need to look up my scripts. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods came out. They're on the same page. Shaking hands with the fans on the way in. Then Big E comes out, first time in 4 years. Emotional speech because now you're mixing in like real life stuff with his broken neck. And I can't believe how quickly Kofi turned. I don't know how I would have wanted this to have gone. But in a way, it was still a stroke of genius. I don't know what is going to happen for the future. But yeah, like... Xavier Woods went off on Big E first, saying, really? You choose now that Kofi and I have had some issues, now you want to come? Where have you been all of this other time? Because he's been able to walk. It's not like he's not allowed to be around. So the funny thing was, they actually brought up valid points. Right? He was in a neck brace for a long time. Okay, but then after that, then they went on about Stone Cold had a broken neck with Owen Hart in 97. Came back. Kurt Angle, in real life, won a real gold Olympic medal. Not scripted, not bullshit. He actually did that shit with a broken freaking neck. It was one of the greatest catchphrases of all time because it was actually real. It was true. It wasn't just a persona that he was trying to live up to. He is that person. Kurt Angle, that is. Then you had Edge. He came back. Now, mind you, it took a while too for him to come back, but they came back and they didn't even have anybody waiting for them aside from the fans. Whereas Big E had these two waiting for him. So they actually kind of brought up some good points. Now you want to be our manager because Big E says he wants to be back full time. He's not cleared medically to be back into the ring, and he may never be. That might have been a career-ending injury that he suffered at the hands of Ridge Holland. Ridge the Fridge. So this was like really wild, especially like Kofi, right? Because Xavier's always been kind of like slowly turning, right? So it was like a little bit more organic. Kofi, I feel like he kind of just snapped out of nowhere. But at the same time, him snapping makes sense because out of nowhere you see Big E and it's like, oh, wow, now you show up just because it's the 10th year anniversary. You want to come get your flowers. So what? Broken neck. And I was just like, oh, damn. So yeah, so they've gone heel. I guess they needed to do something because like I love New Day. I really do. I mean, it was a little goofy, Francesca, whatever it was with the trombone, all this shit. And then the pancakes and the booty. It was goofy. But at the same time, the power of positivity, you know, the whole chant with Big E and all that. You know, in the beginning, people didn't like New Day. But I always thought that they were probably going to be something great. And they ended up being something great. They were goofy, they were silly, but when it came down to the nitty-gritty, they could get shit done. They're like, what, 11 or 12-time tag team champions? So now you have Big E that just leaves. Is like, really? It's just going to be this way? And it's like, from a story perspective, again, what, is that it? Think about 4 years, Kofi. 4 years Big E's been gone. I hope he comes back and there's somehow a reason for him to be around. Now it looks like there won't be a reason. So again, another situation where I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is going to happen? Karrion Kross vignette promo rocks as always. Talked about Nikki Cross attacking Karrion's wife right backstage in the locker room last week. This is going to be great. Final Testament versus the Wyatt Six. Just more and more we're seeing reasons why it makes sense to have this feud. And I cannot wait to see it unfold. Like, wow. Just so good. Really, really good. Yeah. Unreal. He's so good, too, because he'll go... I've talked about this again before. Let me get some coffee here. What was I going to say? Karrion Kross also continues his promos and stuff on X, which is absolutely phenomenal. I just love it. Just really honing his craft, and he's just so dedicated and damn good at it. I swear to God, if I ever hear of them breaking up, I am going to be pissed. Paul Ellering now is out of the picture for a while. I hope he comes back, even though he doesn't do much, doesn't do much talking. It's the nostalgia. It's the power of him being around. I don't know. I really like the whole Final Testament thing a lot. Gunther versus Dirty Dom with Judgment Day without Finn. Sorry, let me read that. Let me read that again. Gunther versus Dirty Dom with Judgment Day without Finn. Gunther without Ludwig Kaiser. Yeah, sorry. My God, it took me a second. This is what happens sometimes. OCD, I was overthinking it. Yeah, it's just a one-on-one Gunther with Dom. Judgment Day and Finn. Just everybody was gone. Jesus Christ. They went to the back. Told him to get out. Then at one point, Joe Tessitore, I think, was like, I wonder if he's regretting that now. Or was it Wade Barrett that said it? I can't remember. Whatever. Dom sends the henchman backstage. There we go. Dom was chewing his gum while wrestling. I think that could be pretty dangerous. That was a small piece of gum. But I would never wrestle with gum in my mouth. Because you could, chew on your tongue. You could choke on the gum. I don't know. I feel like you should do the Mr. Perfect thing. Right? That's the smart thing to do. Halfway down the ring. I'm just saying. He should have done that. But he didn't. Dirty Dom Chance. This is actually a pretty decent match. Dom is just so good. He's really a workhorse in the company. Yeah, wow. I just couldn't get over Dirty Dom. I was like, what is going on? What world do we live in where we're chanting for Dirty Dom? It was just unbelievable. But yeah, Gunther won. Again, sounds rude. I really do. I really, really do love Dirty Dom. Oh, yeah. He's real dirty. But again, from a believable perspective, and it sounds rude, I don't see him winning clean against someone like the likes of Gunther. I just don't. I see him winning with a little help of his friends, but not on his own. I generally like a champion that can win on their own. Your Gunthers, your Cody Rhodes, things like that. Even your Roman Reigns, your Brock Lesnars. Whether they're the good guy or the bad guy. I'm not saying I don't ever want to see it, but one of the worst, again, to go back to Seth Rollins about what I said earlier, now that he's right on the screen, in the last little bit, in the last decade-ish or so, his heel run with J&J Security was one of the ones that pissed me off the most. I don't like the coward persona at all. Now, what was wow again is the whole dissension between Finn and Dom. Finn comes in assaulting Gunther, repeated. Again, two heels constantly after each other. You've got Finn just constantly coup de grace-ing if that's a word, on Gunther, looks at Dom, and Finn says, "Watch and learn, kid." Wow. One of these days, Finn Balor's gonna find himself in a real shit creek without a paddle. Yep. R-Truth versus Pete Dunne. Quick match. Chance of Butch. Upset. Bitch Butch. Pete Dunne. R-Truth rolled him up for the win. Not going to sit well with Pete Dunne. There's something about Pete Dunne, I don't know what it is. I miss when it was him and Ridge Holland and Sheamus, the Brawling Brutes. They just completely... Right? We never got any closure whatsoever as to why Ridge just left Butch at the time hanging. Because Sheamus was gone because he was out with an injury. Just the whole thing was weird. Just really, really weird. Just like the whole Giovanni thing, getting attacked recklessly by Ludwig Kaiser. To me, that just made no sense. It's one thing to be like, we don't need you anymore, but to savagely beat somebody that was faithful to you is just very, very bizarre. And then to have never had any closure for that. Giovanni could have been made a little bit bigger by having the face turn, coming back, Ludwig Kaiser attacking Sheamus. I know he's on the blue brand now, but I'm just saying, I feel like they fumbled Giovanni. I really do. I really, really do. And sometimes I feel like they fumbled the Brawling Brutes. They really, really did. But what do I know? Right? Backstage, again, two heels at it. Ludwig Kaiser, speaking of the devil, gets on Braun Breaker about, you didn't beat me at Survivor Series. And then Breaker's like, you know what? I knew you were going to come out here and say that. So you know what? I got no problems talking to Pierce, and I'll make this official. Love that. Usually, again, you would expect a heel champ to be like, you're not getting near this. You don't deserve this. You don't belong in my presence. And he's just like, yeah, so let me go talk to Pierce so I could fold you in half like a fucking pretzel. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. So it looks like, I think that is happening, isn't it? No. Is it happening at Saturday Night Main Event? No, that was another match. Can't remember what it is. Now on to the picture we've been looking at for half my bab. How long have I been talking for? Oh, it's on my other screen. Yeah, nobody's watching this to the end. Not without, like, a lot of prescription medication. Seth versus Sami. Sami Zayn thinks that Seth Rollins attacked Jey Uso backstage. Okay? In case you're wondering, too, shout out to Jimmy Uso, who suffered a broken toe from the splash at Survivor Series off the cage, and Bronson Reed, who quite severely injured both his ankles in that big splash. So that's why they're not around. This is a nice match, and it had Sami with a chair. And then Seth Rollins going, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing? I know what you did to Jay. He's like, what are you talking about? Maybe it was Punk. Maybe it wasn't. Like, I don't know what's going on. Because he got bonked in the back of the head. We don't know who did it. Maybe it's going to be like that Carlito thing when he attacked Dragon Lee. Remember that? And they showed the CCTV footage or whatever. What the hell does CCTV stand for? Closed caption, television, survey. I don't know. But yeah. So that distraction after led to Sami Zayn losing because he threw the chair out, said, fine, forget it. Then it was a roll-up pin. And then after that, a man of the hour, Drew McIntyre, comes in, Claymore kicks Sami. He had been gone since Hell in a Cell in early October when he fought with CM Punk. Oh boy. Oh boy. Because again, where's this going to go? Sami Zayn wearing the Sami Uso bloodline shirt. It's kind of like he's back in the mix of things with Roman Reigns and all that sort of stuff. And the Usos, just the whole thing. I don't know where this is going to go. If Punk's going to come avenge, are we doing this again? Not that I'm bored of it, I'm just saying, but that should technically be done, that feud. Is this going to be a new... I don't know. And that's the beauty of it. The anticipation, the not knowing where's it going. I have no idea. I can't believe I just cracked 30 minutes. I'd almost say I apologize, but honestly, I love to death making these videos. I just don't understand how I had so much crap to say. This was supposed to take like 7 minutes, if that. Somehow it just kept going on, but whatever. At least there's no mid-roll ads. So there's that. Thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. You didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and it'll get broken off with a claymore kick to your back end with your thumb, right? Try not to envision it. Seriously, just don't do it. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that'd be great. Maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. I'm hoping tomorrow, maybe later today. Not that it's super exciting or anything like that. I might do a wrestling Reddit video. Hoping to upload some 2K24 gameplay. Nothing fancy. Just having some fun. Just chatting. Just being active on this channel. But unfortunately, I am quite caught up with stuff going on my main channel with all these games coming out and all this stuff. But whatever. I'm having fun either which way. So that's all that truly matters in the end, I guess. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.